Who says racing can't be fun? Some of you may have never done a race because you're so worried about the fact that you might have to run the whole time or that you really have to push yourself. But you know what? That is not the case. And today I'm going to do another race report from one of my favorite races that I do every single year, and that's the Damn Good Run. Again, another 𝙈𝙾𝙾𝙀 race. I say this all the time. It's one of my favorites. But this one truly is really one of my favorites. And this year in 2023, I can't remember how many times I've done it. I had a chance to do it with a couple of my tribe members, and we just decided we were going to have a good old time and enjoy ourselves and not worry about it. We did the 13K, which is a little bit over 8 miles. I've done the 13K before, and I've done the 26K before as well, I think a couple of times. But it's usually in the spring, and the coolest thing for us in Arizona is that it happens to be by Lake Pleasant. And so the race is really unique in the way that you get to run across the Waddell Dam, which was actually built to create Lake Pleasant. So, and the other thing I love about it is that there's a 2-miler, a 4-miler, a 13K, a 26K, and a 40K. So all the distances except for the 2-miler, you run across the Waddell Dam, which you don't ever get to cross at any other point in time. Only workers get to be on there. And then if you're doing the 26K or the 40K, you actually get to run along the shore of the lake. And I actually, one year it was so hot. It's like, it was the beginning of April here and it was so hot. I was with a friend of mine, took my pack off, took my garment off, handed it to her, and I literally just walked into the lake. As a matter of fact, here's that video right now. You have to check it out.
All right, here I go. Oh, that feels amazing.
And now I want to just go through some of my pictures and talk to you about the race so you can get a little bit more information. Whether you live here in Arizona and have never done this race, or if you want to travel for a race, it's definitely one that would be worth your while. So here we go. Hey there, here I am. I love doing this. I used to write blogs and race reports for races, and I feel like this is just the best way, not only for me to relive my experience, but I think you get a clearer, picture of what the race is all about, and maybe you could, just get more out of this. So I got to this race way earlier than I needed to be on this day because it's like about almost an hour drive from Tempe. And my friend Meg was volunteering and we live pretty close together. So we figured might as well just ride together. So I got there a little early, which was fantastic because I got to see this beautiful sunrise happening. It was a gorgeous morning. And then also I got to, I think I called my aunt. I got some things done. Okay, and so now we're going to move on. Let's see. Whoops, this is moving faster. Okay, so there was the sunrise. The sunrise was actually coming up, and then here it is. And again, because we don't, we live in a desert, getting to be at the lake is kind of just like a fun place to be. There's my friend Meg, and I encourage, as well as myself, we love to get out and volunteer at the 𝙈𝙾𝙾𝙀 races. Not only is it just good to give back to our community, but you also get to get race credit so that you can use for a future race. So that's always motivating for all of us as well. And here is before the race. This one is actually usually pretty highly attended. This wasn't even a ladies training program. I didn't train them for this race, so to speak. Or did I? I can't remember now. I think this one actually might have been on there. Yes, it was. I think. Anyway, regardless, we always have a good group showing up to this race because it's so much fun. So there you see, not all of us, but many of us before we left. And I think just about everybody was doing the 13K. There's another picture with all of us, and you can see again the race in the back, or the water in the back. This is also where you finish, is coming in towards that lake. A lot of people have run into that lake after they finish. I have not done that yet. And here the race is starting. So again, we're along the shoreline and just started heading up so that we could get to the dam. So you're on a single track. And usually, again, one of the tips I could give you and what we do is knowing that we're not going to be trying to kill it. When you're on a single track, it means like really only one person can fit at a time. So, excuse me. we actually let all the faster people go first because it's always kind of a pain to keep moving over. Again, not trying to win the race. We're going out there for enjoyment. So I'd rather just let everybody go ahead of us and then we just take our time. And here's again, just some more. This is actually on the dam. Excuse me. This was actually a little video that I took. So I'm going to play that real quick. That was just a little video around. I did that pretty fast, but this was when we're on the dam, which is again kind of pretty cool that you get to be on it. You don't get to really do that often. Oops. And here we are. So that's Jan and Tina, which both of them I've already interviewed for Member Spotlight. So if you go back to look for the Member Spotlights, either in my playlist. These ladies are in the True Tribe, and I've already interviewed them, and they have very inspirational stories, both of them unique. So go check those out. But we decided we were just going to have a good time and chill out. So that's basically what we did. Now, this was a week after the Crown King race that I also did one of these for. So now this was, I believe, a live video that maybe I did, or I think I took the video so I could show this to you. I can't remember, but here we go. And here we are going into my favorite part of this 13K. Again, for some reason, I just want to say I feel like I'm in Middle Earth or something. But here's a cute little stream. And it's just a cool little part. It's my favorite part of this trail. I'm trying not to fall down. Cool little bridge. The wildflowers are like super pretty. And there you have it. Yeah, so the flowers, it was basically, we had a super bloom this year, so a lot of those yellow flowers. Usually that area is a little bit greener even. I think this, maybe it was already starting to die out. So here you could see the wildflowers. Just a lot of the yellow looks so beautiful in the desert. And, you know, some of these pictures really just don't do it justice. So here you are just looking back towards Phoenix, way, way, way back there. But I just love our desert. It's so beautiful. And if you've never been out in the desert, again, this is a great race to check out. Apparently I've taken several videos of the wildflowers. And again, there's some different colors, so some purples and some pinks, but again, we were just out having a good time, and there I am. I guess now this is after the race. I think these are in some kind of an order, but anyway. And that's my sister. She came out. She did not run the race, and she was out there, so I love to get a picture with her when I can. This is what the finish line looks like. So you could see that you finish going through that 𝙈𝙾𝙣𝙯 sign, and if you want to, you can keep literally running into the lake if you want to. And here's a really good, I think this was everybody that was in the race from our True Tribe. So again, most of us sporting our purple, and it's just fun to go out there together. Again, sometimes people run together, sometimes they don't. We do our own thing. But you know, this is what keeps us going and making this a lifestyle is, again, we're not racing these events in that way. We just pick races and it keeps us on track. You basically just want to keep up. So a 13K is an 8-miler. So if you're running 8 to 10 miles a week, this is totally realistic to do. There's another picture. I can never get enough of getting a picture of all of us together. And then here, after that, one of our True Tribe members, Melissa and her wife, Miggy, and there's Meg again. They have a trailer, not a trailer, but an RV, and they camped out. And Archie right here, you may have seen some videos. If you go look through some of my videos, there's some really cute videos of Archie. And here's his new little brother, Indy, another corgi. So Archie is our first real mascot. And then after that, here's Susan. She was actually going to be out there because you're at the lake. She was out there. They were doing some jet skiing. And as much as I'm always about like getting out of your comfort zone and doing something new, I had the opportunity to get on a jet ski, but just didn't feel like it at that point. So I just had a beer instead. So there you have it. That's the fun that we've had at the dam run. Again, just to really sum it up that just because it's a race doesn't mean you have to actually race, right? The most important thing to check is always check the cutoff, make sure you can finish the race in that time, whether you're walking or running or doing both, because the race does put cutoffs there for a very specific reason. So there you have it. And here we go for another mystery medal. Again, sticking my hand in this box, and sometimes this is really hard to do. Let me see. Oh, Girls on the Run 5K. Here is the Girls on the Run 5K medal. Oh my gosh, I could be talking about this one for a while. It's the 15th birthday. The back of it says the finish line is just the beginning, which is so true. Happy 15th birthday. So I don't remember when this was. I've done this race many times for several reasons. This to me is exactly what I do with my True Tribe, only I do it for adults. If you've never heard of Girls on the Run, it's a nonprofit. They are nationwide, and it's basically an after-school program for girls in elementary school from, I think, second or third, maybe third to fifth grade. And then they also have a junior high version called, oh my God, the name is escaping me now, Heart and Soul. And that also is for junior high girls. And basically the whole idea around the program, sure, it's about getting them to run their first 5K. So at this race, all the girls have the number 1 on their bib, and they get all dressed up, and basically they will train during the season after school. There are coaches that volunteer. There are so many volunteers that do so much for Girls on the Run, but the coaches are volunteers. Usually it may be a teacher, it could be a parent, and they teach the girls a couple of times a week. There's an after school program, and not only do they get to run, walk, skip, whatever they want to do during that training with their coach at the after school program, but they also do a lot of work around just things that girls need at that point in their life, as far as, self-confidence and learning how to deal with negativity and learning how to deal with bullying and just those types of things. And the reason why it means so much to me is because I wish I had that when I was a girl that age. I didn't start running until late in my life, but I used to be a Girl Scout, so I know that there were some programs for me that did help me out with some of those, life skills. But to me, running is the catalyst of so many things that you get to learn about life, and exactly what I teach in my True Tribe. So, goal setting, overcoming obstacles, dealing with a negative mindset. Those are all things that, practice makes progress, but that we need to keep practicing. And I've been involved with Girls on the Run here locally. I usually have a team. I sponsor the event. Sometimes I was actually on their board of directors for 3 years. And really enjoyed having that opportunity. So I do try to support them as much as possible. Look for a Girls on the Run in your area so you could either volunteer or go do the race, anything like that. I'm sure they would really appreciate it.